It has been a minute, and I sincerely want to apologize for that. I think I mentioned this before, but I am building my own production company from the ground up by myself. And so it's been a journey. It's been up and down, but luckily I haven't gotten to the point where I'm fed up with it or I'm tired or I want to quit. I have seen some success, so I am thankful for that, but I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on and why I've been a little MIA. But I do want to thank you guys for sticking around, and again, I am sorry. But let's get right into the video. I do want to preface this by saying I am not a practicer of voodoo, so some things may be right, some things may be wrong. However, I am someone that values education over ignorance, so I don't mind the constructive criticism. And I've just never been someone to believe what other people tell me about stuff. I always have to do my own research and come to my own conclusion, and this is no different. So today we're going to be diving into voodoo, what it really is, and why we think about voodoo the way we do, especially within the African American community. Voodoo or Voodoo comes from the Fon, Yu, and Yoruba peoples of West Africa. The word Voodoo means spirit, deity, or sacred energy. Long before colonization or the slave trade, Voodoo was practiced as a complete way of life. Not just religion, but philosophy, medicine, and community structure. At its core, Voodoo teaches that everything in the universe is connected through spiritual energy. The visible and invisible worlds are intertwined. The living, the dead, the divine, and nature are all part of the same sacred circle. There is one supreme creator known as Mawulisa. In the Dahomey tradition, two aspects of one divine being. Mawu, the nurturing moon goddess, represents compassion and creation. Lisa, the sun god, embodies strength and order. Together, they maintain cosmic balance. Voodoo priests and priestesses serve as bridges between the human and spiritual world. They lead ceremonies, heal the sick with herbs and prayer, and maintain harmony within their communities. Contrary to the fear-based myths, voodoo has never been about harm. It's about healing, protection, communication with ancestors, and spiritual balance. In its purest form, it's a science of spirit, a way to stay aligned with life's natural rhythm. When you look closer, African gods and Norse gods aren't so different. Shango, the Yoruba god of thunder and fire, is like Thor. Both command lightning and are symbols of justice. Ogun, spirit of iron and war, protects warriors and blacksmith, much like Odin. Yemoha, mother of the seas, is the African mirror of Ra, goddess of the ocean's depths. Legba, the guardian of crossroads and messenger between worlds, resembles Heimdall, the Norse protector of the Bifrost Bridge. These deities serve the same purpose, to represent natural forces and human virtues, to help people understand the mysteries of the world. The difference isn't in the gods themselves, it's in how history judged the people who worship them. When enslaved Africans were taken across the Atlantic, they carried their faith within them. Even in bondage, voodoo survived, in songs, rhythms, and rituals performed in secret. But enslavers outlawed African religions, calling them savage and demonic. So people adapted. They hid their faith inside Christianity. Catholic saints became masks for African spirits. Shango became Saint Barbara. Urzuli became Our Lady of Sorrows. Papa Legba became Saint Peter. This was spiritual resistance. What appeared to be a Christian prayer was often an African invocation. Through the resistance, new branches of the faith were born. Haitian voodoo, Louisiana voodoo, Brazilian candomblé, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that word, and Cuban Santeria. Each one blended African roots with local culture, forming a patchwork of sacred survival. So, what is voodoo actually used for? Voodoo is about balance, healing, protection, and connection. It's not about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself. Ceremonies are held to heal illness using herbs, chants, and spiritual guidance. Honor ancestors, keeping their memories and blessings alive. Cleanse energy and remove negativity or misfortune. Ask for clarity, love, justice, or peace through offerings and prayer. And sometimes to seek protection from harm, spiritual or physical. Every ritual is an act of respect, a reminder that we are never alone. The spirits walk with us, and our ancestors stand behind us. Where Western religions focus on salvation after death, voodoo focuses on harmony in life, balance between the physical and spiritual world right now. So, after Haiti's revolution in 1804, when enslaved Africans defeated the French army, the Western world was horrified. How could the enslaved conquer an empire? They blamed voodoo sorcery. That was when the smear campaign began. Missionaries and colonial writers called voodoo a cult. Newspapers described blood sacrifices and possession as demonic. Then Hollywood took over, creating movies that turned a religion of community and spirit into horror. White Zombie in 1932, I Walked with a Zombie, and countless others. Fear sold, and it gave colonial powers an excuse to continue suppressing African culture. Voodoo was never the villain, but it made a convenient one. When people hear Thor's hammer, it's a fashion statement. When people honor Shango, it's called witchcraft. When Norse mythology is taught in schools, it's called history. When Voodoo is practiced openly, it's called superstition. Both are ancient, both honor nature, and both have rituals of devotion and symbols of power. The difference is colonial perspective. Who was allowed to keep their gods, and who was told theirs were evil? At its heart, Voodoo is about life, the cycle between birth, death, and rebirth. It teaches that our ancestors never truly leave us. They guide us through dreams, signs, and spirit. To practice voodoo is to honor your roots, your land, and your people. It's not fear, it's faith. When a drum is played, it's not to summon darkness, it's to awaken energy, to call the spirits that bring healing and balance. Every chant is a prayer for peace, every offering a thank you to the unseen world that sustains us. Today, a new generation is reclaiming voodoo proudly and publicly. They're restoring it to what it always was: African spirituality, not superstition. From Benin to New Orleans, from Port-au-Prince to Atlanta, people are reconnecting to their roots, honoring ancestors, and breaking centuries of lies. So in conclusion, we now know that voodoo isn't some evil practice where all they do is wish ill on others and take dolls and to stick pins in to curse other people. It's a spiritual practice that honors and gives thanks for what we have been given to survive. The forced hatred and scare tactics were just a ploy to make you look at them as monsters and not human. So if the truth ever came out about them and what they were doing to them, we wouldn't care because they're monsters anyway. It's simply not true. These people are owed an apology and respect. One of the things I do want to mention is that this further supports that we as a people all started in one place, Africa, and branched out. The beliefs with the Norse gods were similar, and I'm sure that if we look deeper into other people's original beliefs, they too would be similar. It's just that over time, with evolution, things got lost in translation, and beliefs evolved based on their geographical location. For further evidence, take Christianity, since that's what most of us practice today. There are things that the church believed to be canon, but in reality, some of those beliefs weren't even in the Bible when my generation's great-grandparents were born. So we're talking less than 100 years. Imagine what happened when people migrated to different areas. I can go on and on about that, but I want you to start doing your own research into things before believing them blindly. Ignorance is how they keep us down and divided. Voodoo isn't dark, it's divine. It isn't magic, it's memory. And it isn't a curse, it's culture. If this changed how you see voodoo, share it, because the truth deserves the same power the lies once had. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, please like and subscribe as well. Thanks for watching. See you next video.